There's always stuff going down in the news. That's what I'm talking about. Doesn't matter what day of the week it is. It can be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, maybe it comes back around on hump day. Doesn't matter what day it is. It's Saturday, and there is some breaking news. Come on. All right, the very first thing I want to talk about right now is SNL, because they're having their 50th anniversary. It's like 50 years of SNL. Blows my mind. It's actually been 50 years so far. But in February, they're going to actually celebrate this whole thing, a big celebration throughout the whole weekend. And Sunday have a huge event for SNL. And I'm guessing they'll have a lot of guests come in. Hopefully a lot of people that have hosted before or been in the show that are still around with us and kicking ass still can pop in and have a good time. And just have a fun time, because it's a fun show. It really is. But it's going to be down February 16th, 2025, from 8 to 11 p.m. So get ready for that. It's a long ways away still, but still 50 years. You got to celebrate that, because honestly, I mean, it's amazing. I can't even believe it's been that long. And it's on right now. We're kind of competing right now because it is Saturday. Again, it's Saturday. So we are kind of competing with SNL, even though I have a hard time saying it's Saturday over and over again, but I will ingrain it in my mind. Just like this is ingrained in my mind, like a Charlie's Angels reboot coming for kids. Now, okay, we already tried this again. We had the last reboot. It did all right. It wasn't the best. I think it was fun as a movie, but now we're going to a television series targeted towards kids in Brazil, which is also another different thing for me. But it's a reimagination, they're saying. We're going to have Charlie's Angels. They're going to be kids at a university, kind of like Wednesday, going to school, being trained in order to go on these secret missions to save the world. At the same time, it's their first year. It's like Harry Potter, kind of. At Wizards is like their Waverly Place or somehow Wizard Place or wherever. It's their secret agent base, training and learning to become special agents for their future. So it's like pretty much a prequel to the whole franchise. It's the Wild and Crazy Guys. I love that. That was some good stuff. But I'm not sure about this Charlie's Angels thing. Again, for kids, we're targeting kids. We're shooting in Brazil. There's a lot of facts I still need to know about this. It's very early on. We just found out about it. But I hope it's good, but I just don't see it. I just think it's just tired, guys. I think it's tired. But I do not think that Ted is tired, because Ted has been picked up for a second season over on the Peacock. Well, on the Cock, the Cock wanted more. And honestly, I get it why. It's done great. It's done great numbers over there. Number one comedy for streaming, original comedy over on Peacock. It's just numbers are huge, but it costs about $10 million per episode to produce this because of the special effects for Ted. So they're kind of weary about picking it up because of that. But honestly, the comedy is there. People are loving it. I feel like I want more. I love the first season. I know Jordan loved the first season too. I think there was an animated one, Queen. I think there was. But I think that this just makes sense. Make more. Seth MacFarlane wants to do more. It's fun. And this really works well in this prequel world. But something that didn't work that well was Constellation. And I liked it. I watched it on Apple TV Plus. It was okay. It's pretty much like a multiversal space TV series. Like the girls goes into the space station. They have a reactor go off, and then she teleports to a multiversal different spot where she's like living the life of a different multiversal version of her. And it's very convoluted at times, but the acting is good and it's fun. But they do seep a lot of time in this cabin. There's a lot of time in this cabin. They did one season in March. It was out there, and now they're waiting for a pickup, and Apple said, no, we're not going to do any more of this. But Constellation is going to go to the wayside, unfortunately. I love space stuff. I love space. I love dinosaurs, too. And Jurassic World is coming back. We talked about this before. We got Scarlett Johansson attached to this. And also on top of this, now, if you watch The Lincoln Lawyer, we have the Lincoln Lawyers, Manuel Garcia Raful coming in too to be cast in this as well. Of course, we have Jonathan Bailey attached to this, and we have Gareth Edwards here too. Gareth Edwards has been attached for a little bit too. He did, a bunch of movies too. Now he's taken over this franchise. Now, will it do well? Will it not? I don't really know Lincoln Lawyer, so I don't know if this guy's gonna be great for this. But hopefully he is. I love dinosaur movies. I love it. We gotta have dinosaurs eating people, and us trying to save some island and kids and stuff. Let's do it. Come on. Let's do a good dinosaur movie. Hopefully it's good. But also someone will talk about that. Spielberg's behind this, but Spielberg was also behind a big, big movie called Back to the Future. And J.J. Abrams came forward recently, and this is why I want to talk about this, because J.J. is talking about his casting for his next movie, and right now he's got Glenn Powell lined up. They're in negotiations for his next movie. They're not saying anything about what it's going to be, what they're going to do, what's this movie about, what his character's going to be, but recently, and I'm going to go back to, the whole Spielberg thing, we did this Back to the Future movie, and J.J. recently said that he wants to do a Back to the Future type movie, and he was talking about Timothée Chalamet being attached to this, but it's supposed to be his next movie. So now I'm just going to put this out there to you people. Is it going to be Glenn Powell as the semi-new Marty McFly? Because if he said his next movie is going to be pretty much a Back to the Future homage, kind of like Super 8, but almost the same thing. Time travel, kid, saving his parents, same kind of deal. Would it be Glenn Powell? Is this what this is? Is this our cast without actually officially saying it? Is this our new-ish Marty McFly? I think he's a good actor. He's been really over the place. The Twisters is coming out. Maverick was great, I think. But again, if you're doing a time travel thing and you're going to try to make it Marty McFly, he's not Marty McFly, I don't think. But then again, he's saying it's different. But I'll put this out there in your ear that I'm saying right now here on Cruise Control, he might be like our next kind of Marty McFly. We'll see. But,
not Marty McFly, but you put some shades on him, that's Cyclops.
Yo, Jordan throwing the Cyclops in there. He could be Cyclops. I totally see that. Think about that, Marvel.
Marty. Sorry.
Yeah, GR's putting it out there. I think he might be too, GR. But it's again it's a rethought, it's a reimagination of without actually delving into being like this is Back to the Future. But I know he was saying that, so I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together here that it might be that. The space-time continuum it's just messed around in these kind of movies, just like on Star Trek, everybody. And Jordan's favorite topic here is Star Trek, of course. We call him the Star Trek aficionado here. But Star Trek. Everybody's wondering, we get another Star Trek movie with Chris Pine. Well, Chris Pine says he doesn't know. He said he actually heard the news recently about the new writer being attached, and he was asked about it, and he's like, all right, guys, I mean, like, as far as I heard in the news, there's a new writer, but we heard that multiple times, different scripts. It's like the script we got one time we thought was great, and then it got thrown out, and there's something else, a new script. He goes, I guess they have another script coming in because I have no idea. So will that Star Trek movie actually happen? Now, Paramount's been saying yes, but again, they are up for sale, so maybe if Sony buys it, that might not happen. Who knows? But on the other side of the galaxy, we do have Star Wars, and of course, this happened. We know everybody all heard about this. Mandalorian Grogu's coming out, of course, but now Sigourney Weaver is attached for this feature. They're not saying what her role's going to be, but she wants to get back into the space world. And I think I love her on camera all the time. So if she joins Mando over here with Grogu, like I could see her like tickling baby Grogu maybe at some point. I think it'd be fun. I think it looks great. But Disney's just trying to make the best with this Star Wars franchise. Just like they were trying to make the best with John Carter, but John Carter flopped a long time ago. I think it was like the last movie I saw in the free SAG theater back when we used to get movies for free. And John Carter, I mean, it's a great premise. But they've had the rights forever. That movie bombed bad. And now it's officially the rights are going back to the estate of the original writer, which is like, after all this time, I'm surprised they didn't try to make it again. They probably just kept trying to think of ideas because they reboot everything. And they're like, we can't really figure this out. But author Edgar Rice Burroughs, the state's got the rights back, so they can do whatever they want with it now. Maybe it'll go to a different studio. Who knows? Back to the Future should not be touched, Queen. I agree 100%. And that's what the whole thing JG was saying, too. It's like, it's not Back to the Future, but it is kind of Back to the Future. Like it did Super 8, was kind of like E.T. Will it work? Will it now work? I don't really know. But John Carter, it's a great premise. It's cool. It's futuristic. It's like a story follows Civil War veteran John Carter mysteriously finds himself on Mars. I mean, the story writes itself, but it just bombed really bad, Very futuristic. Just like 28 years later coming out, everybody. And of course, 28 days later, 28 months later, now I have 28 years later coming out. We have some casting officially. Been waiting to talk about this for a while, but of course, Danny Boyle's directing this whole thing. Sony's doing this project. Sony's been in the news a lot recently because of Paramount, but also Jodie Comer's coming in, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Ralph Fiennes are attached to this project as well. I love all this casting. I think it could be great. I'm really excited to see they're doing 3 movies. So this is the first movie. They're not saying they're on for all 3, but they do know that these 3 are signed on at least for this first movie out of the new trilogy they're planning. Depends on how it does, of course, as always. But the streamers are trying to figure it out. As always, trying to make the best they can. Just like how and this thing guy drives me nuts right here. I mean, I talk about it a lot, but WWE is back in the news one more time for their streaming stuff. That's right. WWE, Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown. Things are changing, shifting. They're going to Netflix now. But USA had a deal until September for Raw, for Monday Night Raw. And then it's going there now in January. So what are we going to do? So they extended their rights to actually have Raw on USA through the end of the year, and they get your wrestling live on Netflix moving forward. And SmackDown too, they actually extended it till October. And again, they're just extending rights for these programs so they can have money. It's like $24 million deal or something like that, so that people can still catch their wrestlers in their spandex on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown, which I watch it a lot too, and I love it. And I hope that it does find a home on the streaming world and it does great. I really do hope it does well because, I go, yeah, Flair loves that shit. He does. But you know what? I love it. I love it so much, and Netflix thing is a good home for that. But you got to watch out what you say because people get mad. They might get mad. And Jerry Seinfeld recently was talking about how he was talking about Howard Stern. He's like, Howard Stern. He said he's not that funny. He came forward and said he's not that funny, which is really not that good. He said he doesn't have the comedy chops, and afterwards he started kicking himself and coming back. But he was like talking to Dana Carvey about this, and he was just saying that his show's funnier, and like why David Spade, like their show's funnier, and like that Howard Stern doesn't have anything besides Robin. And he started kicking himself and eating his own words, and now he's come forward to apologize to Howard Stern and say, "You are funny, you are great, you've done amazing audio and." Of course, podcasts and TV, and of course, Sirius FM. He's been forever. And so he apologizes. And somebody else that might be owed an apology is Andy Cohen, who has been cleared of all of his charges. And if you don't know this about the Real Housewives, there were some of the contestants came forward saying they were being treated wrong. They were saying that he was doing cocaine, forcing cocaine and alcohol on all them. If they weren't like that, they didn't want to do it, he would get mad at them and cause problems on set. And he was in denial for a long time, but now the actual studio came forward and they said a spokesperson for the production came forward for Bravo, and they said these claims were found to be unsubstantiated, if you will. And so right now this Brandy Glanwell and Leah McSweeney, they have these charges against him. They're trying to sue him. It's all being dropped after the internal investigation. So Andy Cohen must be very happy right now, I have to say. He must be very happy. But a lot of breaking news, everybody. A lot of breaking news.